Hi everyone, my name is Kendrick and welcome to ENFP Mail. Today I get to interview Saul. So Saul, welcome.
Thanks.
So Saul, how did you feel and what did you think when you got your typing results back? And what is your official type? Can you give us the full type also?
Well, I'm double feminine, Fi-Ni, sleep, consume, play, blast. And I don't really know what I was thinking when I got my type. I guess I needed to process it. I was kind of prepared that I would probably not get my type right myself. But I didn't expect to be feeling first, especially not Fi. So that was kind of weird to see.
You are a jumper ISFP. So what's your what do you think or how do you feel about being a jumper type?
I mean, it explains why I struggled so much with finding my type before I got into OP. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's quite nice seeing my functions, or at least getting like a filter for the information to go through so that I can focus on developing myself and so on. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, why don't we jump in the animal that's quite obvious about you, which is your blast last. So let's talk about your blast last because I think that's kind of funny, in a good way, obviously. Did you was it really obviously right away when they said, "Oh, you're blast last"? You're like, "Okay, yeah, that's super obvious for me."
Well, I didn't notice it before he said it, but at the phone call, I mean, I said like 10 sentences. I talked to Dave,
Yeah,
which is the last second. So it was a really big difference there. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
you said
Really.
10 sentences.
Yeah.
I remember when my girlfriend got typed by Dave. Also, they did it over the phone first, and then they did a double blind afterwards. But the first time they did it on the phone, my girlfriend barely said anything to Dave. She was just like she told me that Dave pretty much spoke like 90% of the time, and she was blast last like you. So I so it seems like with you guys who are blast last, it's like you say a little bit and then that's it, and then you just want to listen to the other person.
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
Indeed.
but what kind of problems have you had in your life because of that blast last? Like, have you felt like you struggled in some areas where you wish you could speak up and give your blaster lessons, or at least share something that you wanted from your your NI and your PE?
When I'm in the mood, I can talk. If it's about helping people, or if it's something, I mean, I actually stay away from most people, so I don't really talk to that many. I like talking on the phone. I just like to not say anything. I like to be with people without saying anything,
Oh,
sharing time, and just being in company with people without needing to like have that. Yeah.
so you like to spend time with people, but you like their presence. You don't necessarily need to say something to them. It's just their presence is good enough for you.
Yeah, or at least I wish it would be. I've struggled with a bit of social anxiety. Um, so, I mean, being around people is pretty uncomfortable because I'm not in that flow where I'm my usual flow. I think it's the double masculine sleep, which is like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a forever flow of random thoughts. And whenever a person come into that picture, it's like a pop-up ads.
Oh,
And
okay. Okay,
so,
well, why don't we talk about that then? Talk about your double masculine Fi-Ni sleep. 'Cause that's super interesting, and also it's gonna make you super extra introverted, I think. Yeah, so
yeah.
that it's also NF. So let's hear what your how you experience that.
Well, when I was younger, I feel like everything I think about is about trying to understand something. And when I was younger, that gave me a lot of anxiety because I didn't really understand anything. So I started doing psychedelics, for example, and started meditating a lot. I meditate a lot, which is helping me stay out in the extroverted realm, I guess. And I like just watching trees, things, just watching how everything is like a fractal, and that gives me kind of a sense of peace, I guess. Just seeing that everything is the same. And when the SE and the TE, I guess, is stressing me out, then that can be a really nice place to come back to.
You are SF second and you're consume second. How do you use your consume? And because it's SF, do you like to consume like what's popular or what's cool?
Um, no, I really like consuming. I'm really careful with what I consume. I think you should be careful with what you consume because everything you take in will eventually come out in some form. So I either have this really rigid way of consuming things, like reading books that I want to learn about. And if not, if I'm not really specific about it, then it's like something like a guilty pleasure, like cake, comics, something that's just mine, I guess. But I really struggle with consuming things. Like I will miss things that I shouldn't miss, you know, like some great event happened here in Norway and people are talking about it. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they look at me like, you know, this thing. So, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe because you're so selective with your consume, you miss out on what's popular because you only care what you like what's popular for you, I guess. You know, not like for not like the tribe, not like what's popular with the tribe. You are play third. How do you experience your play third? Your play third is that ST also? Is that ST play?
Yeah, I think it's ST and it's also double feminine. I haven't really seen this one, so I can't really describe it as much, but it's there, I guess. Yeah.
Well, we're the same because we both have double feminine play and we both have double masculine sleep. Um, although yours is in your savior state, your sleep is in your savior state, mine is my demon state. So there is that like difference between us. Um, let's start by going through one of your functions one at a time. Let's go with your masculine FI first. You said that you were surprised that you were typed as masculine FI and lead masculine FI. Now that you've had time to kind of think about it, do you how do you experience that masculine FI? And you know, do you agree that you are lead masculine FI?
Yeah, well, when I look back at my life, I guess that makes sense. My mom thought I was autistic, for example, and I didn't really speak much. I only did whatever I liked, whatever I found important, and yes, I've had a hard time meeting the tribe, I guess, which can be really annoying. And it's also pretty hard because I feel like at least my masculine FI has made me really depressed as I had a lot of stuff to process. And when you get depressed as a lead FI, you don't have those emotions to pull you forward. So I would just be totally, yeah, I didn't feel anything. And when when you don't feel anything as a FI, you have no motivation to go out into life, to do anything. So just lying inside for like 5 years, doing nothing. So I guess that's why I thought I was a thinker or something. I don't know. Now that I've gotten out of the depression, I'm starting to feel things again, and it's really intense. It's really intense. Absolutely.
Can you describe the intensity? Like what is the like how is it intense?
Well, after not feeling for so long, it's just really uncomfortable having these emotions like even when I'm happy, it can be so much that I'm just it's just like, wow, this is a lot, you know. And when I'm sad, I'm really, really sad, and it can take me into really dark places where I just can't get myself up. And there's no one who can get me up either. No help. So, but I was always waiting for Dave said something about lead FIs waiting for someone to come help you. And I was definitely doing that, waiting for someone who could come save me, help me. When in reality, I didn't even want any help, you know? So when someone tried to help me, I was like, no, go away. And I wouldn't take the help from the people. But subconsciously, I was just waiting for someone to come like drag me up and take me away. And yeah, it's a lot of daydreaming, a lot of wishing. Yeah.
So it's, I guess on a surface level, you wanted to push people away, but on like a deep layer, you wanted someone to like just get in there and just like yank you out of that like hole that you were stuck in. Does that sound about right to you? Like kind of.
Yeah, you could say so.
Okay, that's interesting. I think Dave was talking about people who are lead sleep and they get stuck in that loop, especially the sleep consume or consume sleep loop, where you're just stuck in your head like for a long period of time. And essentially the only way out is through the tribe. Um, Now that you've got out of depression, would you say that you've reached out to the tribe and have you connected more with the tribe since then? Or is it still like something that you find extremely challenging and it's a struggle and you try to push away?
Well, I've definitely reached out to my friends, especially after I got my type. I was like, okay, well, guess I have to go to Please the Tribe. It was really nice seeing, it was really nice just knowing what my results were, because that gave me like an answer for what I needed to work on. And it also explained a lot of my, for example, social anxiety or just anxiety in general, I guess, being so closed in, having the masculine sleep, not being able to like jump out. So after I got my type, I figured out I have to actually watch my parts and actually do something productive with them. So actually started meditating like 20 minutes a day. Gonna go do like, yeah, I don't know, help the tribe in some way. So yeah.
So let's
But
talk
yeah.
about the tribe then. Let's talk about your feminine PE. Sorry to cut you off there for a second. Um, Someone's honking outside your house. It's all good. So because of your feminine PE, have you gotten a chance to go out and help the tribe? You know, like let's say they needed help with something that would need to work for them. Have you gotten a chance to be like a troubleshooter? Like, okay, I'll help you fix your problem. Like, have you tried doing that already?
Yeah, I used to be somewhat of a like problem solver, I guess. I always like helping people. I mean, um, I figured out sometime, for example, with my boyfriend, I was always trying to help him, you know, trying to help him do this stuff and get him out of the depression. And I've always had like a thing with trauma bonding, that I feel a lot for people who's been in the same similar situation as me. So I try to drag them up and like help them. When in reality, I think I was just trying to make them fit my FI. So I've kind of been helping people out of egocentrism, ego, yeah. So I've been trying to define like, okay, why do I help people? Do I really help them for them to fit me better, or is it because I actually want to help them? Yeah.
What conclusion did you come up with when you asked yourself that question?
Well, it wasn't pretty the first time I asked that question, but I mean, awareness is the first step to change. So even though I don't change at once, then at least I know. So
So if you have a friend that says, "Oh, hey Saul, I need help. I don't know, making a cabinet or something," like, would you go over their house and help them build a cabinet if they ask you?
yeah, I guess I would. Not that anybody has asked me about that.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I tried helping people. I've been through like, yeah, psychological transformation, I guess you could call it. So where I feel comfortable helping people is in that area, being like a hobby psychiatrist, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think you need to be careful with helping people in that way, because you can't tell people what to do. You can't tell people the great answer. You will only like enable them. So finding the balance between like actually helping people and just being important and just feeling like you're important is, yeah, it's a big difference.
Because you have PE last, do you fear tribe hate? Is that like one of your biggest fears then as an IP?
I mean, I have social anxiety. I do, or at least I had a lot of social anxiety. It was always connected with the feeling that I was never enough, or that I was a bad person. And I'm really sensitive to the emotions of people around me. So if I said something that triggered someone in some way, then I would be really sensitive to like, I would think it was my fault, I guess. And I think if your FI is gone bad, if your FI is, yeah, like it's always about me, you know, even if it's bad or good, it's always about me. Like, oh, I'm the reason they're feeling bad, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that actually. My girlfriend is officially typed as she's staring me down right now. She's in the kitchen in front of me. But sometimes I would tell her a story and she would take the story into herself, and now it's her story. I'm like, I'm not. This is not about you. That's what sometimes I would say, you know. And yeah, I think that's like the savior FI. I think thinking that, you know, like everything kind of revolves around you. Um, but have you gotten out of that? Like, have you said to yourself, wait, stop. This is not real. It's not about me. It's fake. You know, like have you ever like caught yourself and said that to yourself?
no, I'm
No?
not. I'm not out of that. Everything is still about me, but like at least now I can see it. I can see my thoughts. I can see my thought pattern, like to some degree.
Yeah.
So that makes it kind of worse because yeah, yeah. But awareness, right? At least I'm aware, and I mean I'm still pretty young, so I guess that would change with age. Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. Oh yeah, you're super young. Yeah. You have like, yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. Like, you know, most people don't figure out like their third demon even until they're like late 20s, I think. So like your third demon is play, right? So I think by the time you get in your late 20s, it's gonna be like you're gonna be a different soul, you know, like different soul. Anyway, it's a bad joke.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I try to tell myself always.
Yeah. Um, you have hobby play. So what is your third demon hobby play like? Would you say?
I mean, I actually play a lot of games, like World of Warcraft, or not anymore. I sold my PC because it got really obsessive. But yeah, I used to play a lot of games. I also have this. I make these games in my head, you know. Like when I'm out with people, I try to look for specific things, or I try to. I mean, that's probably the FI, but I'm really self-pleasing in the way that I make internal jokes with myself, which none of the tribe understand. But I'm like, like I'm so funny, you know. So I have these weird things that I create, I guess, and play out when I'm outside.
So you're self-amusing then.
If I'm self what?
Self-amusing.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so.
Okay, but what about the actual play? Because play is a two-way street, right? It's you and the tribe. You know, it's not like. I think what you described there might be sleep, right? And then even playing computer games, that's more like consume, I think, because like you know, you're consuming this like fun activity. But what about the actual play? Because play is back and forth. It's like if I say something to you, you'll take what I said to you, you'll add on your own piece, and then you'll give it back to me. And then I'll take something that you said to me, and then I'll add on my own piece to it, and then we're building something together. You know, it's like let's say if I'm like I tell you a joke, and then you tell me a joke back, and it's like your joke that you told me is even worse, it's more offensive or more funny or whatever. Then I take whatever you said, I make it even worse, you know, and we're just putting gasoline on a fire, and that's essentially like what like play is, right? So have you gotten a chance to engage in something like that where it's like nonstop back and forth? You know, like you probably see like a talk show where like the host is like interviewing someone and they're just like having so much fun, just like having this back and forth banter. Like, do you ever engage yourself in that sort of interaction?
Yeah, well, I guess if it's really specific, I can do that, but it's mostly with like internal jokes. So I have I have swapped out my friends because most of my friends did drugs, and I didn't want to do drugs anymore. So I mean, when I've known a person for some time and we have built up this tower already, then it's easier doing that. So and if someone has the same consumed sleep as me, like for example with psychology or philosophy, then I can joke with these things that we have consumed that we already have in common, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that you are attracted to EJs? Like, do you gravitate and make friends more with like EJs or even date EJs? Like, is your boyfriend an EJ, for example?
No, no, I like I like observers a lot. I think they're cool. They have this easygoing thing, and I can make fun of them without them being offended.
Yeah.
They make fun of me. We have like this. Yeah.
If people make fun of you, how would you react to that?
I actually love that. I mean, maybe that's trauma, but yeah, I really like that. I feel like it's what do you say in English? Like you you make fun of the people you love. I guess that's what
Oh,
they
you make
say.
fun of people you love because you
Yeah,
care. You care. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's my love language. I guess I feel like uh, when I'm really comfortable around people, then I actually get to make fun of them, get to make fun of myself, and it's just like this. Yeah,
Then it's fun. Then.
that is all.
Yeah. Um, because you're an IP, you love talking about people. Like when people start talking about people, you get like really like interested in it. Would you agree with that? Like you love hearing about people. Like you like talking about yourself, about other people. Do you find that like fun?
I like talking about people as a concept, I guess. Like figuring out ways to understand other people and understand myself, I guess. Um, but I think it's kind of a waste of energy to talk about the game, like the social game, because the game isn't real, you know. I rather talk about the actual game, like the graphics and the spells, you know.
I mean, okay, let's say you are in high school and your group of friends, one of them said to you, "Hey Saul, this person said this about you, and it's really bad." Like, how would you react to that?
Yeah, actually, I remember when that happened. Like, I really hated drama. I hated drama a lot. I would tend to stay away with it from it. I had like 2 friends or something in high school, which was fine. That was like enough for me. And I remember when my friend told me like, this person said this about you. I was like, what? Where are you telling me that? Like, are you just trying to create drama? Like, I don't need to know that. Why are you? Like, I can't really see that thing. Maybe I'm just blind for it. But
Well, I mean, after they told you that, how did you react? How did you feel inside? Did you later on think about why they said that to you, or
I just felt like it was really unnecessary. And I mean, I got anxiety when I was like 13, maybe. But before that, I was really carefree. I didn't really care about what people thought about me or yeah. I would like before high school, I would just sit in a tree and read a book.
yeah?
Didn't have any friends. And I was kind of fine with that. I got kind of bullied when I was a kid, but like you can't bully someone who doesn't know they're getting bullied, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, that's true.
Like,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah. So maybe I was just totally oblivious. Maybe I was just so in my masculine sleep that I didn't notice or care. I don't know.
Yeah. So sleep is what you would use to set boundaries with other people, and because you have sleep first and it's double masculine, you have like a permanent shield or armor around you at all times, and nothing can get in essentially. um when David Shan officially hyped me. They said I have double masculine sleep like you do, and they said that I have to let myself be vulnerable, and I have to let people in, um, if I want people to love me. That's what they told me. So, but I have it as fourth, so I do use a lot of play because I haven't played first. So what about you? Because you have that first. How thick is that armor from like or shield like with the tribe? Like because if they told me that double masculine sleep means nothing can get in, how does it work for you? Because yours is even thicker than mine. Yours is like so because it's first, right? Mine is last, so mine is like all the way in here. Like you can't see it, like it's like under my shirt or something. Yours is like it's like right in front. You're like a big shield, like Captain America, like
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. I'm struggling. Like, I don't know, actually.
Are you setting boundaries with the tribe like constantly? Like you just before the tribe can
I plan. I know I should spend time with people. If not, I get like lethargic and sad. And like
yeah.
I know I know I have the need for friendship, so I plan meeting my friends pretty regularly, and I call them, which like most people don't like talking on the phone, but I'm like, why don't you like talking on the phone? It's so great. We don't have to meet, but yeah, I try to set up times when I should meet them. But then I'm so tired because I've been to school for 6 hours and I'm like, Jesus, no, I have to go outside. And so, yeah, I've ditched a lot of people just because I'm so tired that I'm like, we can't do this today. I'm so sorry. And I want to meet them. Like, I want to keep my relationships up, but I'm just so tired.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so physically exhausted. Like, when I'm sitting here with you, I've been to school for 1.5 hours today. I'm
Yeah.
like, he says, I can't do this. So it's really little. I can't expend like any energy just for myself or for anyone. Yeah.
Are you still feeling really tired right now as we speak right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of shaking,
Okay.
actually. So, well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny though that when you said that you feel lethargic, I'm like, you do look lethargic.
Yeah, yeah, people said that. My best friend was like, I thought you hated me when we first met. I was like, well, I didn't, but like, yeah.
Just lethargic.
Yeah.
Talk about not having a lot of energy because it seems common. I mean, according to Dave, it's an oversensitivity to low energy. Do you think it's an oversensitivity or are you actually low on energy? Because he's also sleep first, right? And he said that he actually like later on realized like maybe I'm just oversensitive to like being low energy. Maybe I'm not low energy, So because he's the same as you, right? He has sleep first and play third, exactly like you, right? The only difference is your blast and your consume are on the different spectrum. So would you say it's just an oversensitivity? Like, have you tried working out or exercising?
Yeah, like I definitely think it's an oversensitivity to things. When I'm with people, um, like not that I can feel others' emotions, but it's like I get really drained by just seeing someone being sad or yeah, just spending time with someone who has a low vibration really affects me. And I don't get that much. Actually get energy by exercising, so
Yeah.
that's yeah. But yeah.
What kind of exercise do you do?
I do yoga. I have like a routine. I do different things every day, so I have like yeah a morning routine.
You do any cardio or weights?
I do cardio once a week. I do weights once a week.
Gotcha. I feel like yoga is like a sleep kind of exercise, like
Definitely, yeah. I'm just lying on the floor and just like it's not even real yoga. I just lay on the ground
you're
and
doing the
just
corpse pose
yeah.
of the yoga. It's really just a corpse pose. How do you feel after you do cardio? Because I've noticed in the past I've had clients. And I work in the fitness industry, and I've had clients before who I think were INFPs, but I think they were like consume sleep or sleep consume or whatever. And I noticed that after they do cardio, they're like a different person. They're suddenly like energetic and they're like talkative, and I'm like, what the hell? And so
Yeah.
now I'm starting to see that a lot of people who might be consume sleep or sleep consume, they just need to do a lot of cardio, and that makes them like more like extroverted. Like have you ever experienced that before, where you did cardio, like an intense, high intensity interval training maybe, and afterwards you're like, wow, I'm like talkative now.
Yeah, actually, when I think about it, I used to swim a lot before, which I guess is cardio. So I swam 11 times a week before, and after I quit, I got really depressed. That's actually when I got depressed. And I notice now when I do cardio, yeah, definitely higher energy.
So you need to do cardio every day then. Like so that's what you need to do.
Yeah, I probably should do that. I probably should.
I remember Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you know him. You probably do because you read a lot of books.
Yeah.
But I was watching one of his videos on YouTube, and he said a lot of people, when they get depressed or they feel sad, what they really need to do is not think or feel, but to move their body. Because sometimes the way out of the depression, that whole, because he contemplated suicide before too, right? Is to move your body and get the energy flowing. Because there's no, like when you're doing when you're sitting and resting, there's no energy flowing, right? But when you're moving, that's when the energy is now flowing. So um, when you were swimming a lot, you said that you weren't depressed, you were fine. So would you say like one of your biggest fix then for yourself, or one of the things that you need to work on is like a daily exercise routine that involves cardio? Would you say that would help you a lot?
Yeah, and that's probably really contradictory with the sleep,
Yeah,
that you don't want to get up ever, but that's exactly what you should do. But yeah, it's probably true. Um,
I experience the world very opposite from you, because you're sleep consumed, right? And I'm play blast, so I'm a play blast crackhead, right? So for me, I'm like go 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 go, let's get things done. But the problem with that is because I haven't taken the time to sleep process anything, I'm actually not as productive as I think, because people who have high sleep, they're good at prioritizing what they really need to do with their life, or where their life should be going, the direction they should be going. So if I'm just a play blast crackhead and I'm just like, taking things off the list, like, you know, task one, task two, task three, task four. Well, really, if you look at the bigger scope of things, maybe some of those tasks I don't need to do right now because they're not important. Really, this is what I need to do, because in the big picture of things, this is what I need to do. And only someone with sleep that has sleep process can determine that, right? Um, so would you say for you, you know exactly what you need to do, but you're not doing it? So it's like the opposite of my problem. Like you know exactly what you need to do, but you're not doing enough of it. Would you say that's kind of like where you're struggling right now?
yeah, definitely. It's a lot of planning. I like planning a lot. I will spend a lot of hours on that. And when it comes to just doing the thing, I will just not do it. And I will go back to planning something else because I was like, okay, didn't like this. So I just have to go plan something else that I can do instead. And it's just an everlasting circle of trying to figure out my life instead of actually living it, I guess.
Right. So do you execute on your plan? Because you have a lot of plans, and they're probably really good plans too, because you've taken the time to, you know, to sleep consume it for like many hours.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of time for me to actually get used to the thought of doing it. For example, I would like to exercise martial arts. That's what yeah. I would like to exercise martial arts, but I haven't quite gotten used to the thought of actually doing that. So I know when I have a plan, it will probably take like 3 months or something before I actually do it.
Right.
And but I also think it's really important that when you actually make a plan, that you should actually do it, because that's a big struggle of mine. That I just plan things and it seems so great that it's
Yeah.
just this perfect thing, and I try to do it. It's not as I thought it was. I quit and repeat.
I guess reality doesn't match up to your fantasy. Like what you thought of in your head. Like you have this grand vision of something, and then you do it in reality. It's like, oh, it's like it's like a letdown, you know.
But yeah.
You have feminine SE. Do you have a bad memory? Do you forget things a lot?
Yeah. I have a lot of things because of that SE. Like for example, I started school this year. High school, I thought I failed high school because in Norway we have this like limit, like 15%, where you're supposed to be at the school 15% of, if not you fail, right? So I was gone like 50% maybe, so I thought I failed. So I start school 2 years later, try to grow a pair of balls to actually start school. We start school, and when I try to do my exams, like I was supposed to like get up to my exams, you know, then I see like, hey, you have already taken this exam, so you don't need to take it. I was like, what? And it shows that I had finished high school. I started
Oh
high
my
school
God.
twice.
Oh my
So
God.
I missed the fact that yeah. So I'm kind of in shock right now. Like, what do I do? Do I just finish this year? Do I what? And I made the government pay for me. Like, it cost $7,000 to finish. So yeah, like, do I need to pay back? Like, what's happening now? So I'm just really, yeah. Wow, that's yeah.
Oh my God. That feminine sensory is crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like I'm a double observer. Like, this should not be this bad, but yeah. And it's just like I forget all my stuff. I lose all my bank cards. I don't know where anything is. I get broke because I have to pay. I have to buy new things all the time, and that's expensive, you know.
Oh my God. You have like observer problems. Like,
Yeah. uh, yeah.
let's talk about being a double observer. So supposedly you're balanced with control and chaos, or what's the other one? Gathering and organizing. But it seems like you have observer problems too. So talk about how you experienced being a double observer.
Yeah, maybe I've just been living in my saviors
Yeah.
a lot, so that I haven't been able to actually practice the SE. I
But
don't
you have
know.
consumed savior though. So how does that work? That's kind of
Yeah, and I mean, since I would have SE, like if I'm an ISFP, I would be able to access the SE like over the NI, right?
yeah.
So I can't really see that one yet, at least, but yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Because you're sleep first, are you do you hate chaos then? Do you avoid chaos?
Yeah, that's probably the thing because I'm double masculine sleep. So when I'm so in my head that I'm not even out in the extroverted world. So it's not just a sensory I struggle with; it's everything extroverted, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
And then you have masculine NI. So like when they said that people with masculine NI, they completely avoid the sensory and they try to plow through it to reach their end goal, right? So are you doing that then? Is that why you're getting hit by the sensory because you're disrespecting it because of the masculine NI?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I'm not studying for tests, for example. I'm just cheating. I'm cheating a lot in life when I just should be able to like, okay, just fucking do it. Just do it. Like I've struggled so much with being a normal person because I'm so tired. I'm just like no, I don't want to do this thing, you know. So I end up cheating the tribe. I cheat the system. Yeah.
I feel like it all starts with doing cardio. I feel like if you start just doing cardio every day, like I feel like you know, just like the 80-20 principle, you know, like I think 80% of your problem would go away if you just did cardio like every day, you know, like I would be very interested to hear like let's say you start doing cardio like tomorrow and then for the next like I don't know 30 days that's all you did is like cardio every day and you log how you feel every day on like a journal and
Yeah,
then
that's really smart.
you go to the Facebook group and like tell people too because like you know it's like hey guys I spoke to Kendrick today and it seems like I just need to do cardio and I'll probably a lot of my problems will go away So I did it for 30 days and now I'm normal, you know, like I feel fine. I feel,
After 1 year, I'm like way up.
yeah, you're like a type person now. Like, yeah, that'll be great. I'm actually
Yeah,
curious.
but
Yeah,
actually, I was wondering, like, how I can't really seem to understand NI, or I have like, no, I mean NE. I can't really seem to see NE. So how do
oh,
you experience that one? You have feminine NE, or
it's feminine NE, yeah. So I like to gather concepts and patterns, but I tend to forget the concepts I've gathered. Let's say I read a book and I was like, oh my god, that's such an awesome concept, and then tomorrow it's gone. I completely forgot it already, you know. But my SI is super good, right? I remember the smallest detail when it comes to like the physical world. So, you know, I always pay my credit card bill on time. I always know, like I if I lose something, I know where I could probably have lost them because I always put them in the same spot, you know. But
is it like a feeling that you know where you might have put it, or do you actually remember what it is?
yeah, no, I have like if I lose something, I know it could only be in this place because I always put back my stuff in this place. Like I'm very regimented when it comes to like putting away my stuff. I always put them in specific places. Um, but with the NE2, like I always can see the incoming chaos happening from the future. Like I already know what's coming. Like, okay, like for example, my credit card is due, so I would check online to pay it. Like I know all like the incoming chaos that could get me, right? So that it doesn't get me because I can see it coming from the future. It could be a human relationship thing too, right? Like for example, um, okay, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna talk to this coworker that I don't like, you know. So I can see that chaos. So like for me, I can already like plan for it. I'm like, okay, should I avoid this person or should I confront this person? You know, it's like, you know, like I can see all this like future chaos that's gonna come my way. Like I can see from multiple directions. Like also with NI, it's like a tree trunk, right? Like you have like your vision of the future and it's like a tree trunk and it's like one straight line, right? But like with NE, there's many different options of where the future can go. So it's like more like the branches, you know, or of the tree, right? So for you, it's like this. For me, it's like this. So I'll give you an example. Um, in the future, I have multiple options of where I want my career to go, right? I work in the fitness industry right now, so I can stay with fitness, or I can continue with the ENFP mail and make this my business. So that's ENFP mail. Then I have a travel blog and a travel YouTube channel, so that could be another branch. And then I also like video games, so that's another branch. And you know, like I have so many branches I can choose from. So it's like you know, I can go this way, I can go this way, I can go this way, go this way. I can do, you know, maybe three of them at the same time. You know, so there's different pathways to go. Um, you know, it goes for any way. So like it could be with relationship too, like friendship, right? So for example, I have a friend that I don't like that much anymore, or maybe this friend has screwed me over. You know, like I have a friend, he's an ISTP. He's you know kind of he just screws people over all the time, right? You know, and you know that's what he's an IP, so obviously you know that's he's gonna do that. But so my option is I can cut him out forever and never talk to him again, you know, or I can see him once a month only, or once a year, or once a week, you know. So it's like I have like different options of how I'm gonna proceed with this relationship, right? Um, so that's kind of where the NE is. So what I need to do to balance it is I need to use my sleep and kind of think, okay, looking back in the SI, the past, how did I feel when I hang out with him? You know, you know, and based on his track record, you know, because I can use my NE to kind of see your pattern too. I can see other people's patterns, right? Based on his pattern, what kind of behavior will he exhibit if I did this one and this one and this one or this one? Because I've actually done all those before. I've already cut him out before for 3 years, and then he became my friend again later on. And I saw him again for once a month and then once a week. So I've tried like different relationship with this friend, and now I can see which of those, like I have to look at my sleep kind of like determine. I'm like, okay, based on my experience with this guy, it seems like the most realistic friendship with him is if I see him 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh shit. That's not,
Because,
are you a tester?
huh?
Are you double feminine?
No, I'm not. I'm masculine feminine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how I see it. And I'm like, okay, like right, like I haven't spoken to him in like I cut him off again, right? Like recently because he was, screwing me over. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna cut him out. I'll delete him from Facebook. I mean, I'll block him from Facebook and I'll like block him from WhatsApp. And I'm not gonna talk to him. He's been reaching out to me too. Like, because I can sometimes I open my Steam, and I can see him messaging me on Steam, right? Like I just ignore him, right? Uh, but when we were kids, we used to talk to each other every day, So, um, and I was even thinking about it. I'm like, wait a minute, is he really my friend? Like, I can't even remember when I really thought about it. I used my FISI. I was like, I can't remember a time when he went out of his way to help me. He's never helped me once. Like he's been my friend since we were a kid. I've like known him for over 20 years, and not once has he helped me in anything. Like he has, like whenever I was in a situation where I needed help the most, he was never there. So that kind of like made me think. I'm like, wait a minute, is he really a friend then? Maybe he's like, but he is super entertaining. Sometimes friendship is not just about helping each other. Sometimes you have a friend because this person is entertaining, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe my friendship with him should not be so high up. I should knock it several notch down, and that's going to be our friendship. He's going to be my 2 or 3 times a year friend, And then when I thought about that, I'm like, okay, so I think that's how I want to proceed in the future. And that's how, because like I had to use my NE, my sleep, like all my animals kind of think about this relationship, right? Like with my other friends, like I have another IP friend. He's an asshole too, right? Because he's an IP, right? He's an INTP, And but you know what? Whenever I ask him for help, he's very like reluctant to help me, and he's like a dick about it. He's like kind of like standoffish when I do ask him for help. But you know what? He does help me though. He does, like after he's finished bitching and complaining and all, like like moaning, like I don't want to like waste my energy to help this guy. He does help me though. He does do it though. And I think I'm like, wait a minute. I don't care what this person bitch about or complain about or whine about. His action actually said that he did go out of his way to help me. So he is a friend, like he is like a good friend, because even though he didn't want to do it, he still did it, like, like not without, obviously he let me know his opinion first.
Yeah, and that's like FE. I used to react to that too when people were like bitching about things. I was like, whoa, where do you want to go with this? Like, keep that to yourself, kind of.
Yeah.
But as long as you get, like, so you're allowed to get out the energy. If you just get it out,
Yeah.
if that makes you able to do it, then just do it. And I think that's really important when you're, like, for example, when I don't want to get up, I would just literally scream, like, and roll out of bed and just make a scene by myself. Because if you get out that energy, that makes me able to do it, then like do it.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah.
So you do that when you scream and then you get out of bed. You should put that in a video.
Like that's a weird thing. I actually talk a lot when I'm by myself, but not with other people.
Oh, you like have like self dialogues then?
Yeah, a lot. Like out loud. I do that.
Out loud.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I think it's in your head.
Google said it was normal, so
Sometimes you're in your room by yourself, you're laughing your ass off.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so good.
But that's really nice though, actually testing out where you can get the people to fit into your life. I would never have the energy for doing that. Like if the person doesn't have a growth mindset, if the person can't handle me telling them like, dude, this is a friction here, if they can't handle that, then I can't. No.
But the thing is, you can't make that decision from your head though. I feel like you have to test it in real life, because if only in real life only in reality can you get the real answer. I mean, that's my opinion, obviously, but because I've tried it, like I've done both the sleep and the play for this, and like with my friend, for example, like I have other friends too. Like for example, I have another friend. He's an ISTJ. He's like consume last. He's kind of delusional. He likes to tell people he has like 13 houses. He's super rich, but like he's clearly not. But
Wait, he's your friend?
Yeah, we grew up like I had a weird childhood. Like when I was a kid, like I knew I was like one of the losers in school. Like I was aware of it. Like I'm not stupid. I'm a double decider, so like I can see what's happening. But like like, usually losers, they get bullied and stuff. And I did get bullied growing up, but what I did though was like, because I'm like an EJ, I'm an EP EJ, right? Like I took every single like outcast in like my high school, and I made this giant outcast group of friends. So we probably have like the third or fourth biggest group in my high school in my grade. Because we had like, you have like the cool kids, they're like the jocks, like the pretty people, they had like that one group, right? And then you have like you know um like the elitist people, like people who are like, taking like the highest level of classes, like the most, I don't know what you call it in Norway, but like, every school has them, like, you take like an advanced level of all the classes, and they usually pack together, and they're like high nose, very snobby, like we're better than everyone else, like so they have like that group of people. And then you have like maybe like the goths, or like the, I don't know, like the emos, like
Yeah, the goth group.
that, yeah.
I was in the goth group.
Oh yeah, that's your group. Okay. Yeah. So there's like that group. And then like I have like the biggest like nerd loser group. We're all like nerds and losers, and like, we have like the biggest group. So like it was still like a fun high school for me, because like I had like I actually had a good time being a nerd with my nerdy friends, like doing nerd shit, right? We were aware we were nerds, but we had a good time, so we didn't really mind. So I don't know where I was going with this story. I completely forgot now, because my NE is feminine, right? I just forgot, like I had a point with this. Oh man, it's annoying. Okay, anyways, it flew out of my head. I can't remember now. Um, um, you're double feminine. So talk about being a tester and visual.
Yeah, it's really hard to talk because I try to describe some weird thing, you know? So writing is helping a lot. Actually getting the words out on paper first. So when I talk to people, I feel like I'm mostly repeating myself. Like, I've said this before, I'm just saying it out loud,
Yeah.
But it's really helping me. Like, for example, what's it called? Martin Luther King. He was traveling around the country for like 30 years doing the speeches before he did the I Have a Dream speech,
Right.
And the I Have a Dream speech was like improvised. That's what it called. But it wasn't really improvised because he had been doing speeches for 30 years before, right?
Yeah.
So we just combined all those speeches and made it into like a new speech. And I guess like language, everything is art though, I guess, but I think language is the most important thing you can ever become good at. Like if you're good at speaking and talking, you have pretty much everything you need. It's like the physical way of moving things is really primitive. That's when you have like wars, and that's when stuff like that happens. But when like a small sentence can say something and just capture a whole group of people and make everybody see like the same thing,
Yeah.
I think that's really amazing. So I mean, blast last is my last function, so I guess that's what I have to work the hardest with, but yeah. I don't know where I went with that, but yeah.
It sounds like your life mission is to become more like an EJ and move the tribe, because that's because you were admiring Martin Luther King and like his ability to use words to move like a huge amount of people,
Yeah.
for a better cause, the very NF, right? He's an ENFJ, right? Martin Luther King. So that sounds like kind of like your life mission then. Have you taken Toastmasters before? Like the
If I've been
Toastmasters? Have you done Toastmasters? They have it all over the world. It's like the public speaking club where you go there and they get you to practice a prepared speech and also practice improvisation speeches. So like,
oh yeah, actually I have that. I have my own group.
Yeah.
It's called like colloquiums. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have like a small group where my friends and I just go to my house and we're drinking and we're just talking about some theme that we would like to like present to blast about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you blast okay when you're drunk?
Yeah, I'm really talkative. I'm drunk. yeah, it's pretty much like it's easier in Norwegian though. Of course, English is really well, why, you know,
Yeah.
when like when you speak Norwegian, it's like you're singing because you do like this, so you have like all these movements, and it's really like da 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 da.
In
So
English?
yes, because when you speak like when I speak Norwegian, I get like this is my Norwegian accent, right?
Yeah.
So when you speak Norwegian, I get all these facial expressions. I get all like these things because I have like it's like a wave I'm writing. But in English, it's like I switch personalities, so it's really hard. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like when you speak a different language, you become a different person almost. Like not completely, but it's there's a difference. The way you think changes.
yeah, it absolutely does. It's
What
that's really nice. Also, if you want to like to try to think differently, if you try to speak in another language, that's really you have to look for the words. So it's like yeah,
So it sounds to me that you need to learn a Latin language, like Spanish or something, to be like more like, like crazy, like, because like, I don't know, like if you go to, I think you should go to South America because like people there are like completely opposite of like the Scandinavian countries, right? Scandinavia is more like an introverted country, right? Like everyone has their personal space. They keep to yourself, but then you go to South America, everyone's like hugging each other, kissing each other. Like you just met someone, they're kissing you in the cheek already, and then you're like, oh, what the hell's happening? Like
yeah,
I remember
like
I went to Bolivia with my girlfriend, and my sisters, and like our tour, the woman who was gonna set up our tour to see the Bolivian salt flats came over and started giving us like cheek kisses. I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, so yeah,
yeah, it's really big difference. I went to Spain once, and everybody's like really intensely staring at you.
yeah,
It's really weird, but it was really freeing too
yeah.
because when someone looks at you here in Norway, or if I look at someone, I tend to stare at people. I think when I do that, people get like really uncomfortable. They get really uncomfortable, which is self. Yeah.
But I
But
guess
I think, Corona, for example, now that Corona is here, everybody's sitting at the bus, and we can't sit two people beside each other. So many of my friends are like, thank God that happened. Thank God we can sit alone and like, yeah. It's a pretty introverted country, definitely. People won't talk to you, and yeah.
I was about to say that maybe in Norway people think you're gonna get corona if you stare at them. So you didn't really answer my question with the tester thing though. So you're
Yeah,
testing,
I'm just gonna get some water.
sure, but do you like to like experiment with different sensory stuff, like try different food or experiment with like I don't know, like that kind of stuff, or different movements? I don't know.
I've always been really picky, but my mom forced me to try stuff. So I guess by the time I was 10 or something, I've tried a lot of things, and I don't know. No, I don't try a lot of stuff. I just sit inside all day.
You're not using your tester ability that much. What about visual? Are you a very visual person? Like, do you learn best from seeing things?
Yeah, definitely. Um, like I can't remember the PIN codes on my bank account, but I know where it is.
Oh,
So yeah,
so you don't know the
stuff like
number, but you know the location.
yeah.
That's so weird. And
Yeah, like when someone asked me what the number was, I was like, okay, wait, I just have to visualize it, and
then you
yeah,
found it.
yeah,
So is the number like blurry, but like you know their location?
yeah. I don't know the number. I'm like, it's like this, and they're like, what?
Yeah, that is weird. That is weird. Um, I remember I interviewed like I think an SI visual person before, and this person told me that they can screenshot their textbook. Like they can look at a textbook and they can like like in a computer take a screenshot. They can like take a screenshot of it, and during the test they can like pull it up and they know all the answers. Like
Oh my god, that must be so nice.
yeah, I don't know how like that's ridiculous. How do you how does that work?
Like, oh my god, yeah, I heard about like the when you have like a house, when you walk through your house,
Yeah.
those who have like masculine intuition, where you can walk through your house and just store all of your memories. Like that must be really amazing, just having that kind of memory.
I don't know if that's intuition or that's sensory because I can do that. Like when I used to live with my mom, the whole house will be closed, like the lights will be closed, and I can no problem. I can go anywhere in pitch black. Like I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
I can even
Yeah.
open the drawer and grab the item that I needed, even though it's pitch black. So
Yeah, I fall over things in like daylight. So
do you get hurt a lot because of the feminine sensory? Like,
yeah, I have broken like a shit ton of things. I've broken my toe 2 times. I've broken my arm. Like it's like I trust things. I don't know what I do. I hurt myself a
yeah.
lot. Yeah.
So I don't know if you noticed, but as the interview progressed, your energy has been going up. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah, yeah, it takes a lot of time, or it takes some time to warm up and to ease into the conversation, I guess.
Yeah, because now you're pretty high energy now. Like you
Yeah,
seem,
but I also met with my friend for like an hour, which
yeah.
was quite draining. So I just came home after that. So I guess I just
But it seems to me that interacting with a tribe can also boost your energy. So like, do you have any examples of that? Like, because it sounds like it can also boost your energy. It doesn't always drain you. Sometimes it drains, sometimes it doesn't.
yeah, when someone talks about the things I like, I guess that's
Yeah.
the thing. When I get to blast about the things I like, that's when the energy gets higher. It's like all of my functions are
They're
there.
aligned.
Yeah. So I don't know why, but I will keep an eye out for that. Actually, almost sometimes I wonder if I have playlist because it's a lot easier for me, at least in Norwegian. I can blast a lot about things I like, but it's hard for me to like throw throw energy back and forth, I guess.
Right.
But if like I have something I have sleep consumed, then I can talk a lot about it. Yeah.
But I think you're still energy dominant though, because it's quite clear that you are preserving your energy quite a bit. Um, like I don't. It doesn't seem like you're info dominant. Like you're not obsessing over the.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, I could see it because if Norway is like an introverted country, then maybe they like it could be like a cultural thing or um, it could be an external thing because do you know Dr. Dario Nardi, the guy who scans people's heads to see what their Myers-Briggs personality type
Oh
is?
yeah, yeah. No, no.
Yeah, he puts like, something in your head and then like based on like where the brain activity is happening, then he can tell you what your personality is, right? Like your Myers-Briggs personality. So I was watching what he was saying once where he put this woman on a scanner and two different personality came up. And the woman said, I'm not going to tell you my personality, but can you guess what it is? And then he said that it looks like you are either an ENTP or ESFP. And turns out that she spends a lot of time with her mom, and her mom is an ESFP, but she is an
Mm.
ENTP. So because she was spending so much time with this one person, as a result of environmental factors, she also became partly like an ESFP.
Wow, that's amazing.
And it actually
Wow.
showed on the scanner where there's like a hemisphere in the brain where I mean that's what he said at least, where there's a part of that she was still in ENTP, but because she was around this person for so much, she actually absorbed that ESFP person.
Holy shit, that's like you're actually absorbing other people's energies.
Right. And
Holy
like
shit.
I do feel like when I'm an ENFP, so I tend to hang out with a lot of INTJs, right? That I can like copy them almost. Like if I spend enough time with them, I can be like an INTJ and come across as an INTJ. But I am not them because when you absorb the energy from the other person, it's temporary. So if you stop hanging with them for like let's say a few weeks, then it goes away. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's like it's like an outlet. Like you're plugging into that person and you're absorbing their energy. But the moment they leave, you unplug and then that battery goes down, right? And then now you're like you're screwed, right? Essentially. So like I've always like whenever I hang out with people who are like consume sleep, I do feel like more whole, like more complete, like there's a part of me that I can express. And I think it's because when I plug my outlet to their outlet, then I can absorb their like sleep energy and I can now like use it. And then vice versa, they can plug into me and they can like use that play blast crack him, right? And then now we're both feeling good and we're both like
Yeah, because it's like the group energy that has freaked me out a lot, because I started seeing this like when I was younger, and I didn't really understand what it was about because I didn't really understand the universe was energy, so I hadn't like gathered that concept. But
yeah,
like when I started like sometimes I would just see a part of me that I just know is my friend from like 4 years ago or something. I'm like, whoa, that part was just something I picked up, and like how little you are you, like you're just the environment and you're just your reaction to your environment, and how much you actually become the people you are with. I used to have I used to have this freak out about like I was afraid that I would become different people. I was afraid that if I touched people, who had like a low vibration or something, I would just absorb it.
yeah.
And I mean, just because of that, I would probably become so much more sensitive because of it, because I would, yeah. But yeah, that's cool.
I think it's dangerous for someone that's your personality type to become a psychiatrist because emotions are personal for you because of your FI. So when you absorb people's emotion, it's gonna get stuck inside you and it's gonna fester and become toxic. I think that's why the best psychiatrists are always INFJs because they have the FE, right?
Yeah,
For them, they'll feel your feelings, they'll absorb it, but it goes away really quickly because it's FE. So feelings are not personal, right? For us with FI, it is personal. So it's like we have to be careful who we let in because, like you said, I mean, the vocabulary you use is low vibration. But for me, I like to use the word toxic. If this person is a toxic person, then I don't want that toxic energy to come inside me because I'm gonna get poisoned by that toxic energy, right? So you want someone that is like growth mindset essentially. Otherwise, you're gonna get poisoned, right?
Yeah, and I think like I've struggled a lot with loneliness because I cut out some of my friends. But I think that's important, that you have to be able to be alone for a while, that you have to find your own energy and actually figure out who you are when you are alone. Look at preaching my saviors, but yeah, that you're actually able to be alone so that you can wait for someone who actually fits you to come into your life instead of just jumping onto the first person you're like, yeah.
I like the word. I like that you use the word wait. Like I'm gonna wait for that person to come into your life. Because
Yeah.
no, but it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But for someone that's it's like play first, I would be thinking, well, I can just interact with 20 people, and out of those 20 people, maybe there's one of them that's growth mindset, and I'll just like avoid the other 19, later on. And then
Yeah.
and I also heard that you shouldn't like cut people out in your life. You should put them in categories unless they're like extreme toxic. So there's always like people that's like your once a year friend, your once a month friend, your once a week friend, your best friend that maybe you could talk to every day. And this could go with your relatives too. Let's say your mom is toxic or something, then maybe your mom you only see like once a year or something. Like so you have to put people in categories, not so much like it can't be black and white. Like, oh, this person's bad, this person's good. Well, people are gray, right? Like one of my best friend, the ISTJ guy, he is toxic, but he's a very special friend to me. I remember I cut him out and he cut me out too. It was like a mutual, we cut each other out. I had cut out a friend before from high school. And after I cut out that friend, I felt so much better. Like it felt great, right? So clearly that friend was a toxic friend. But when I cut out this ISTJ friend, I felt so horrible, like a piece of like, I think he had like he had a special place in my heart. Like he was like a special friend to me, and I just felt absolutely awful. So a year later, I kind of presented an olive branch. I invited him to my birthday, right, through a friend, and he came, and we became friends again. And like, yeah, no, we're like as if nothing happened, and I feel better. So, but then I also know he's toxic, so I think like I have to categorize him as like, the 2 or 3 times a year friend, because otherwise, if I spend too much time with him, it's bad. But I still want him in my life. So it's like, like you can't just say this person is low vibration, they're out. But sometimes that low vibration person, they're part of your FI heart. So, it's
Yeah, that's the thing. I really get the favorite blankie thing with people. And
Yeah.
when I first want to hang out with someone, I'm really obsessive. And yeah, sometimes it feels like I can't just be normal about things. I get so obsessed with like everything I do. If I like writing, I can write for 8 hours straight. If I'm gonna watch Netflix, I'm just watching
Yeah.
all the seasons at once. And it's like that with people too. And yeah, it's been hard finding the balance between that.
But isn't that a superpower? Because you can focus so good on like that one thing. I would assume that you would do really well in whatever you're passionate about. So, if you have an area that you're passionate about, you can go crazy deep dive on it and like really
Yeah,
master it. Yeah.
that's a good side of it. And yeah, so if I really want something, the problem has just been like finding out, okay, what is good for me and what do I also like. For example, with gaming, gaming isn't like, unless I'm gonna be like a pro, it's not the best thing I can do and spend my time on. So
No.
like that's the black and white thinking again. Like I just sold my computer. I was like, I'm never gonna play again. Just did
Yeah.
that.
Why is it so black and white? Can you like categorize it? Like, I can go all in on gaming only on Saturdays or something. Like, can you do that? Like,
No, like, or maybe at some time I will become able to do that, but right now I haven't been able to. I think it's also I experienced some shit in my past, so I guess I'm seeking. I'm going to a psychiatrist, and yeah, it's definitely something there. So it's probably some because of that. It's not necessarily because of my type, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah.
I had the same issue as you before. I was a video game addict and it was a waste of time. Like when I was your age, I was like just gaming like till 5 a.m. and skipping school so I can play games. It was an awful waste of time. And I completely quit playing games cold turkey. Let's just quit, stop. But later on, a few years later, I realized it was in my FI box. Like I love video games, so now it's more healthy. Like I would never play more than three times a week. But it's okay. I've managed it. So I feel like you can do it too. Like at some point in your life, you will get to a point where you can like, oh yeah, I know I can do that. I think like because for me, where I'm struggling now is with people when it comes to like categorizing people. Because before I wasn't doing it. It was either like I hate you or I love you. It's like, you know, and now I'm kind of thinking, okay, you know what? I love this person, but still 3 times a year friend, you know, like that now I can do that. So I think it's part of growing up, like when you mature. Um, when it comes to your personality though, there's two school of thoughts. The first one is Dario Nardi. He said that your personality is half your genetics and half your environment, right? But when I went to college, I learned that it's only 1/3 is environment. The other 1/3 is your Myers-Briggs, and the other last 1/3 is your relationships with your parents growing up. So based on how your parents treated you when you grew up, you became a specific personality type. And I think the Enneagram, I don't know if you follow the Enneagram. The Enneagram is based on how your parents treated you as a kid, right? So you became a specific type, and then you start yearning like something specific. So I don't know. Do you follow the Enneagram, for example?
Yeah.
What type are you? Are you type 9? Like you're just
I think
type 9
I'm
too.
not sure, but I think I'm 5'4" or 4'5" or 4'3". I think.
Oh, really? Okay, you seem like a type 9 to me, but okay, that's just my opinion.
Why do like where do you see it?
Well, type 9s need sleep, right? They're like always tired. They always want to sleep. They always want to rest. They always want to preserve their energy. They like harmony. They don't like conflict. Well, type 4s, their goal is to be unique, to be different, to get attention. You don't strike me as the person that wants attention, unless do you want attention?
No,
Type 4s want to be the center of attention. From
like I want to have attention, but I don't want to be seen. Does that make sense?
Type 9s don't want to be seen. Type 4s want attention. So you're like a contradiction right now.
Yeah, well, I want to be proud of the work I've done. I want to create something that helps the world grow or contributes to the growth of the world, I guess. But I don't necessarily need my ego to be shown. Like that's just uncomfortable for
So
me.
do you want your name to be on that contribution? Do you want people to recognize you for that contribution, or do you want to?
I want to know someone became happy because of what I did. But I was an actor before, for a couple of years. I was an actor in Norway, and Norway is a tiny country, so people would start coming up to me in like the streets and stuff, which yeah, I got a lot of anxiety, went into psychosis.
Wait,
So
you were famous before as an
yeah, I wasn't famous, but I was like, some people would recognize me, I guess.
how did that make you feel? Like having fame or like small fame, I guess.
It was a really big contradiction of how I felt inside, I guess, because I was still the same kid playing video games, smoking weed, and then people would come up to me and like, what? And I was like, what?
Were you a
So
teenager when it happened?
yeah, I was like 18, 19 or something.
Okay. So you didn't like the fame, right? Did you like the fame? Did you like the recognition?
I mean, I thought I would like the fame. I think that's a big part of our generation right now, is that we think we want to be seen and heard. But when I got it, it was just really uncomfortable, and I realized what I wanted to be known for was myself rather than, yeah. I just realized I'm talking about myself, and I get like, yeah, but yes.
Okay, so it sounds like you want to contribute to the world and make other people's lives better, but you don't need the spotlight on you. You want the spotlight on your work, not on you. Does that sound about right?
Yes, I want to work to be important. Like, that's what everything is about, I guess.
I see. Okay. You don't sound like a type 4 then in that case, because you know, because type 4s want the spotlight on them. They want like to be the center stage, you know, while like
Yeah, well, I don't know. I took the test and I've gotten 5 a few times. And I mean, I sit inside a lot and I do research on weird stuff a lot of the time. But
type 5's biggest fear is being abandoned. Do you fear that?
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
But type 9's fear is being disconnected from people they love too. So it's like it's almost the same, you know.
I mean, it's not hard to connect with people. I feel like I can connect with anyone, but it's getting scary when it comes to the point where I feel like I have something to lose because I've invested time in them.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know them and love them, and yeah.
Well, don't you think in life you do have to take a risk when it comes to happiness? Like you can't
Yeah.
you can't be safe, you know, especially when it comes to love, right? Like you have to take a risk, you know. You have to invest, and you have to invest getting hurt also, you know, like that's part of the deal, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Otherwise you live a shallow existence if you know don't take any risk or you know don't want to get hurt, right? Like you if you love something or passionate about something, you have to put everything in and you will get hurt. I mean that's what and yeah, that's just the truth of things. um so we're gonna wrap up the interview soon. I have last 2 questions for you and we'll be done. First one is, what advice can you give to fellow ISFPs who wants to be better at dealing with a tribe? What can they do? What do you think they can do?
Well, I don't know yet, but I guess I would say just uh, try to help people. Like, you actually release hormones when you do something, when you get that connection, and it's so fast. You can get addicted to it pretty fast. So just help people. Just do something every day. If it's just like about just smiling to someone or giving someone, like buying some dude some McDonald's food who sits on the street. Just do whatever it takes
Yeah.
to increase someone's luck, I guess. Especially for me, who's living in like a really nice country. I have been so lucky being born in the portion of space-time I am. So increasing the luck of everyone who's not in that position is really important, no matter who type you are, I guess.
Yeah, did you watch that video that David Chan released recently on the house or something? There's a house in the US, the Winchester house or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and did you resonate with the message at the end where you know you create a worldview of yourself, but really it's bullshit. So like as you get older, you need to destroy it and start with something simple. And life is all about a contrast, right? So you think your life you're suffering, but really you don't know how fortunate you are until you help someone that's less fortunate, and then that's when you realize like, oh my god, I have a lot of abundance. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. And not only do you help other people, but you actually help yourself. You become a lot happier by just giving to the tribe, supporting people.
Yeah, when I went to college, I learned that like helping people is the deepest form of happiness. So definitely we need to do that. Like I like your example of seeing someone in the street and buying them McDonald's. I think that's a good example. I did it before, like not with McDonald's, but like I saw someone outside who was like playing some instrument, like some Native American. And then I went inside this shop and I bought like a big bag of chips and I gave it to him, like a big, like it's like I don't know, like a 10 pack of chips, and I gave it to him. He was so happy, and I felt so good for the rest of the day. So I think helping people is definitely like a good thing. Even if you're doing it in a selfish reasons, I think it's still good because it's like a contradiction. You're like selfish, but you're not.
Yeah, everything is selfish though, so
Yeah, you're right. My last question for you is: do you have any question for me about functions that you don't have? So I have I have SI, and I have NE. So you already asked me about NE, I guess, earlier.
yeah. I was wondering how your TE, because you have TE second, right?
No, my third function is T. Like I'm NEFITESI,
Oh, okay.
but
Well,
I'm a jumper ENFP though. So
because you're NET.
I'm NET. Yeah, I'm a jumper ENFP. I'm not like the standard NEFI type.
Yeah, because I was wondering how the TE looks like for you, or how it's behaving.
Oh, I'm always like helping people, like troubleshooting their problem. Like when I see, like I can't help it. Like when I use my NE, like I can always like see, like I can pretty much, like it's like the opposite of you, right? Like you live in your head, but for me, like my brain is constantly scanning the room for someone I can fix their problem. Like and like even with the NEFI, like let's say I go to like let's say I'm in school, like I'm in a classroom. I almost know what like how everyone feels in the room, you know. Like my NEFI can like gather your feelings almost. It's really annoying. I can't turn it off. It's super annoying. And then my T wants to like solve the problem now, right? Um, and like I was like like when I was in college, this one girl said something to me that I found really like hurtful. She called me a meddler, right? And then like and that made me really think. I'm like, oh yeah, I shouldn't help people unless they ask for help, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of like something I had to learn as I got older. Is like, nope, like yeah, this person needs help, but you're not gonna go help this person. This person has to ask you for help, Or if you want to help them, you need to ask them permission first. Like be like, hey, would you like some help? Like something like that.
Yeah, that was hard for me to figure out. Like, people don't want to be saved. they
Yeah,
haven't always asked for help, so you need to be, yeah. But yeah.
yeah. I think that's like what I also realized as I got older is like some people like being miserable, you know. So
Yeah, yeah, because it's known. It's what people know, and it's safe, and it's, yeah.
yeah, like I was talking to some coworkers who's always complaining and stuff, and I told them like, how do you feel when you're happy? He's like, it feels foreign, it feels weird, Like I've had some clients like that too, right? And they're all type fours from the Enneagram, and they're like, no, I can't be happy. It feels weird. Like at the moment I'm happy, I have to sabotage it right away, you know?
Yeah, that's a weird pattern. I used to have that before too. It's like I'm just waiting for someone to collapse because I know it's gonna collapse. I just know my NI tells me it's gonna. And like it's like if I don't ruin it first, then something else will, So just to be safe, just to have control, I'm just gonna like fuck it up for myself. I don't know what I do, but yeah. I think it's just people feel they want to feel safe, no matter if it's bad or good. It's just being safe, I guess.
I did learn something from another guy I interviewed. I don't know if you've seen his video. His name's Joshua McCrae. He's an INTJ, blast, play, consume, sleep. He said like a really good thing that I thought it was a good lesson, like a good blaster lesson on his part. Um, he said the best way to learn as a human is to fail, like failure is the best teacher. So he said that why don't you take 1 year's worth of failure and put it in 2 weeks? Just fuck up for 2 weeks nonstop and you will learn so much, you know? So what do you think about that? Like, is that something you think you can do? Like, just like go on like a
Yeah.
fuck up spree for like 2 weeks?
Yeah, I feel like that's been the past 2 years.
Oh, about 2 years already. Okay, you're ahead of everybody.
Uh, but yeah, like with Dan and Shave. But Dave and Shan has been saying like you're an apprentice of the universe. I really like to think about that. Like no matter how bad
What,
I
sorry?
fuck up, when
You said you were an apprentice of
of the universe,
universe. Okay.
like you're just trying. Everything's just a test. Like you're just playing around with stuff, and yeah, you're gonna fail. That's like life is like temple run, I guess. You know where you play forever and then you die. So the point is like you're gonna die when you start because the point is just beating your high score. You know.
Yeah.
But I think so many people are afraid of actually starting the game because they're afraid of dying when you're gonna have to die anyway. So just getting started is the hard part, but that's the only way you're gonna learn, I guess.
That is a weird contradiction, eh? Like, you're gonna die anyways in the end. So, like the last crackhead will say, I will rest when I'm dead, right? But then you'll be dead
Yeah,
soon.
you can chill out in the main menu for a while if you want to do that in the shop, stuff like that. But yeah.
I just think it's weird because like the play blast people, like I don't do that because I know it's bad, but like a lot of them will say I'll rest when I'm dead, but like a lot of like sleep high people will say, I mean they're preserving their energy nonstop, but you're gonna be dead in the end, so you're preserving your energy for nothing really. Like it's like when you're sleep and see on your play blast, I think you're both in a crazy world. So I think we need to learn from like the people who are balanced, who are not like play blast, crackhead, or sleep consume mope. Like because those, I think that the two extremes are crazy. We're both crazy people. But like we need to learn from people who are like like let's say blast, sleep. Like I don't know, like something in the middle. Someone that has sleep and you know play in the middle or something. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I think you have something to learn
Yeah.
from everyone.
All right, Saul. Thanks for doing this interview and coming out.
For having
It was a really good interview, and I think it really picked up halfway through. So
what?
no, I just said that I feel like our interview really picked up like halfway through. Like you start getting more energized. You started like sharing your stories, which I really appreciate. So I think thanks for doing that, and it's been a wonderful interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so bye, Saul, and bye to everyone.
Bye.